Good afternoon and welcome to today's webinar. I'm Andy Moores from Application Performance and I'm joined by Dean Bolton from VLSS, with whom we partner. Today we'll be taking a look at some of the problems when facing an audit from Oracle's License Management Services. At AP, our background is in helping customers monitor and improve performance of their applications. And when we first started, more than 10 years ago, in the database area, Oracle was the principal technology that we used. Hence, we have a great deal of experience investigating Oracle solutions, and it was natural we should partner with VLSS in this area. In my own past, a long time back, I was the database manager for a large telco, and during one of the frequent reorgs that we had, when two departments were merged together, I ended up inheriting about 40 production and many more test databases that I subsequently discovered were unlicensed. And Oracle, unfortunately, makes it very easy to fall into that trap, as you'll hear a little bit later. Thinking back, I'm sure License Fortress would have saved me a great deal of stress. We'll have a short time for questions at the end of the presentation, but if you have any as you go along, just send them in through the question window and I'll be capturing those, and I'll make sure that we take Dean through them at the end of the presentation. And we'll also be recording the webinar, of course, and we'll make the recording and the slides available in the next couple of days. So I'm now going to hand over to Dean to introduce himself and get started. Dean, over to you.
Thanks so much, Andy, and thank you to everybody who is joining us today. As Andy mentioned, we're here today to talk about a new offering from VLSS called License Fortress, which is software license management and audit protection for Oracle. Before we get into the details of License Fortress, a little bit about myself and my company, VLSS. I am the CEO and co-founder. We are a consulting firm with a specific focus on Oracle and VMware. In fact, we're one of 13 companies certified as Oracle on VMware experts, and we're one of 4 companies that VMware itself uses to assist in clients who are looking to virtualize their Oracle workloads on VMware. Our customers are a who's who in the Fortune 100 and beyond, as well as with government, state, local, and federal agencies. And we have consultants in the U.S. and worldwide to help our clients and to provide 24/7 monitoring and managed services. Now, onto the main topic for today. The problem is that customers love or are using Oracle products, but they have a mandate to reduce those IT costs. And with that mandate, they're struggling to figure out how to best use those products, especially as the Oracle sales teams and their license management service use scare tactics to, in fact, do the exact opposite by increasing their software sales. There's a lot of confusion out there in terms of how to use Oracle and maximize their investment, especially when it comes to virtualization and particularly using Oracle on VMware. As Andy mentioned, Oracle licensing mistakes are all too easy. Some easy ways to get into trouble with Oracle licensing are that you could be doing a hardware upgrade, and that could be additional processors on those servers or new processors that have a different core factor in there. In the cloud, you're doing scaling, scale out. Those can easily have licensing implications of which people are sometimes unaware. DBA or developer accidentally uses unlicensed features, and this is one that we see very often. It's far too common because Oracle makes it very difficult to install only the features that you're licensed for. And then finally, and as Andy mentioned this one in his experiences, new environments for development or testing are spun up, sometimes short-term, sometimes long-term, without realizing the licensing implications or having a misunderstanding in terms of what license is covering those environments. With all of those easy ways to get tripped up, there's a need for more control over your Oracle licensing. In addition to those mistakes being easy, they can also be quite costly. So a simple example here is a customer who is running their Oracle workloads on 2 processors using Enterprise Edition and the multi-tenant option along with support, and they were paying $158,000 for the licenses and then a fifth of that for their annual support going forward. During the course of this, they mistakenly moved that workload to a new server with additional processors, and an application developer was using a feature that they weren't licensed for. So instead of their cost being $158,000, they got hit with an audit, and they were actually on the hook for 5 times more than they expected. And this is just a very simple example of how your licensing mistakes can turn into large dollar figure costs. After helping our customers in scenarios like this and assisting them in virtualizing their workloads, we came up with the idea for License Fortress, which is the talking point for today. We've been helping customers with their Oracle audits and controlling their licensing for years, and then we decided that we wanted to take it a step further and actually turn it into a full service offering. And we are the first and only Oracle license management service with a financial guarantee. And by that, what I mean is, once you sign up for the License Fortress service, if we work with you to basically take care of the entire Oracle audit should it happen down the road. All you have to do is pick up the phone once you get an Oracle audit, and VLSS will take care of it from there. To assist with that, we have a legal partnership with Hush Blackwell, a law firm in the US that also has representation throughout Europe, to assist us on the legal side, and they are able to appear in court on our behalf and the customer's behalf throughout the US and Europe. Additionally, we've partnered with Berkshire Hathaway. Those of you that don't know, that's one of the top insurance firms run by Warren Buffett, to provide that guarantee. But all of that works together to basically allow the customer to have License Fortress and then not have to worry about their Oracle licensing anymore. So again, if the audit happens, we take over from there. We work with Oracle to satisfy that audit. If there's a need to go to court, that's where our legal representation comes in. And finally, if it turns out that we were wrong in what we said and that there is a amount due to Oracle at the end for license, that's where the insurance backing and the guarantee comes in. So you as the customer wouldn't have to pay for it. Now, to get started with License Fortress, it's a somewhat simple 3-step process. The first thing we do is capture your current Oracle license contract. And we basically go through and look at all of the Oracle products that you have purchased and all of the terms that are available with those, so that the functions, the functionality and features that you can use under that contract. Then we validate your current deployment. We look through to see how you've deployed those workloads and make sure that you're in compliance with what you purchased from Oracle. If necessary, we provide remediation steps if you're not in compliance. And those can be as simple as buying new licenses or re-architecting environments, consolidating, turning off features that don't need to be used. But basically that second step is to make sure by the end of it that you are back in compliance with what you purchased from Oracle. And then step 3, once that's done, is that we certify, and that's when the License Fortress guarantee comes into play. So after we've gone through that process and make sure that you're in compliance with your Oracle licensing, that's when the guarantee occurs. And from there, you don't have to worry about your Oracle licensing or the Oracle audit anymore. You can focus on your day-to-day operations and running your business. Now, there are some other software asset management tools out there. We like to think that License Fortress is the best one available, and there's a couple reasons for that. Now, like our competitors, we do an initial license review / audit. And right now we have monthly monitoring. So we're going in and checking on a monthly basis to make sure that you're still in compliance going forward. By the end of this year, we're going to have that switch to real-time monitoring, which sets us apart from the competition. So if you're running an Oracle workload on an unlicensed computer, or if you activate a new feature, you will get notification right away so that we can address that issue immediately instead of down the road. And that, with Oracle audits, will help you get ahead of it and save a lot of money in terms of being able to take those remediation steps right away. We do quarterly updates if there's nothing that's been changed on your compliance side, just to check in and make sure everything is in compliance, as well as discuss any new projects that might be happening down the road and how that would be impacted by your Oracle licensing. And unlike some of our competitors, with the License Fortress service, if you have any questions about licensing, you can reach out to us at any time. And additionally, we put together webinars for new hires or for your existing staff. So for system admins, virtualization admins, and DBAs, it helps them with their day-to-day while understand the licensing implications of some of their day-to-day activities. And then finally, what sets us apart from the competition is, again, our legal representation and that financial guarantee that you won't find anywhere else. A couple of use cases that I'd like to talk to you about to really show the power of License Fortress and how you can really maximize your Oracle investment. Number one was a health insurance exchange here in the U.S. In 2014, they were subject to an Oracle audit. They didn't have any license management software or tooling in place, and they had unfortunately deployed far beyond their existing Oracle licenses. After LMS went in and took a look, they found that they were actually short by $14 million, and so they presented the insurance exchange with a bill for that amount. That amount would have ended operations and bankrupt that exchange. So they ended up settling on a $5 million EULA as a negotiation. And that was still obviously a very big impact to their budget, but at least it allowed them to keep going. In 2016, earlier this year, they reached out to us and became a License Fortress customer. They were originally just trying to figure out how to save some of their costs, and what we did is we worked with them to take a look at what they were actually using. And so they had 18 different products on their EULA, but they were only using 10 of them. And the way they had it deployed, they were able to really make a case with Oracle that they didn't need the EULA anymore, and they could save a lot on their ongoing support by getting out of that EULA. So we helped them through their negotiations and certified that EULA early, and that ended up saving them almost $4 million over the next 3 years. One of the ways we were able to do that was by using host affinity on VMware. So of those 10 products they were using, we basically put 5 on one server, 5 on another, and that allowed them to get their license costs down. Now they are confident of their Oracle deployment, their current License Fortress customer, and they're not worried about having to go through the same thing they went through in 2014 if Oracle does audit them again. Use case number 2 is a digital media company, and this is one of my favorites because it really shows how you can maximize your Oracle investment if you know what you're actually entitled to per the terms of the Oracle contract. So this customer was running Oracle Business Intelligence, the Foundation Suite Edition, which has a $300,000 list price per processor. They were running it in a physical environment, and they wanted to virtualize to get closer in line with the rest of their workloads. They basically had everything virtualized except for this one server running the application portion of business intelligence just because of the cost. They reached out to us to help them virtualize that same physical server, which would have given them some benefits of virtualization, but still had it out of line with the remainder of their system. In working with them through that, we talked to them about what they had to do and what their license requirements were, and what we ended up doing was actually virtualizing that environment and pinning it to a subset of cores on the physical host. Now, when they had discussed this with Oracle, Oracle told them that they had to license the entire cluster, which would have cost them almost $17 million more. This is just not the case per the terms of their contract. We helped them understand that, and now they are protected by the License Fortress guarantee, so we have a proactive history of that business intelligence workload to show that it's only been running on this subset of cores, and they didn't have to pay anything extra for their Oracle licensing. Now their workload is virtualized and much closer to in compliance with the rest of their corporate standard, and they're a very happy customer to be able to get rid of this physical server that was kind of an outlier for them without having to pay a rather large amount of money to do so. And then finally, use case number 3 is a Global 100 healthcare company. They're a major Oracle customer with multiple ERP systems, thousands of databases deployed throughout the world. Recently, they changed their corporate standard to running VMware vSphere 6. And after they did that, they got a notice from Oracle that all vSphere 6 hosts had to be licensed. That's not all hosts in a cluster running Oracle. That's not all hosts in any given cluster. It was every single host in their data centers around the world that were running vSphere 6 supposedly had to be licensed for their Oracle, whether they were running it or not. Now, this is something new that we've seen with a couple of our customers, but we really have had to help people understand the problems with that, and that vSphere 6 so-called Galaxy licensing just isn't true and doesn't need to be entertained in any way. So we were able to work with them to help them understand this per the terms of their contract. In addition to that, we also helped them create an audit trail of their Oracle workloads using the License Fortress monitoring and system. And so again, another happy customer where now they are running their workloads. They have upgraded their corporate standard to vSphere 6, and they're not worried about Oracle LMS knocking on their door and starting an audit and having a 9-figure liability at the end of that. So with that, I'm going to open it up to any questions that might have come up during the course of the presentation.
Okay, thank you for the presentation, Dean. Yeah, we have had a couple of questions come in, so I'll get those over to you in a minute. But if there are any more that you'd like to submit, just type away in your questions window, and I'll collate those, and we'll just wait a moment for any more to come through, and then we can put Dean on the hook. Right, so there's another one just come in there. Okay, well, let me start with Dean, and I'll ask you, it's a pair that have come through at different times. They're actually very similar. So it's, is the insurance company UK registered, and also does the legal company work under UK law? So they're very similar, obviously, in relation to that, but obviously, guess because you're obviously a US-based company, and we over here would like to know it all applies to us.
Yep, it does. So the insurance company Berkshire Hathaway has worldwide operations. We have confirmed with them that our insurance guarantee is applicable both in the US and in the EU as well as the UK after we've had conversations with AP about their partnership. Same holds true for our legal representation with Hush Blackwell. They have partners that are registered in the UK and can stand in courts there as well. So both of those are covered for both the US, UK, and EU.
Okay, excellent, thank you. And there's another one that we've got, and that's, can you help me manage Oracle licensing in the cloud? Which obviously is very topical at the moment with more and more take-up of cloud environments.
It's a great question, and the answer is definitely. There's obviously a very strong push to move in the cloud to make use of the resources there and to offload some of the management, being able to scale. There's still some questions out there in terms of how the licensing works. Oracle treats Amazon, Microsoft, and their own cloud differently than others, and so that's a consideration that has to be taken into. And additionally, if you're running VMware, they announced recently basically VMware on AWS, and the licensing implications of that are still to be determined. So there's a lot of different factors in there, and we're keeping an eye on all of those, but we can definitely help you running in the cloud and figuring out your licensing within the cloud. And License Fortress works both on-premise and in the cloud.
Okay, thank you. Another one we've got, Oracle told me that you can't use VMware to limit licenses. It's in their partitioning policy. But doesn't that contradict with what you just said?
It does. And this is one of the things that myself, our partners at Application Performance and VMware, as well as our competitors, are constantly trying to inform customers about, because that partitioning policy is something that a lot of clients and customers have seen. It's something that Oracle Sales and LMS likes to use to their advantage. But the main thing about that partitioning policy is that it's not part of your Oracle license contract in any way. So it is not legally binding, and it does not actually impact how you use your Oracle licenses at all. So that's exactly correct, and we've worked with many customers on that one, but the end result of that is that just because Oracle says that VMware can't be used in that partitioning policy, that has absolutely no impact on how you actually use it. You do just have to license, you have to use your Oracle products in terms with the license contract itself, and that is totally agnostic to any virtualization technology. So as long as you're licensed your Oracle products where they're installed and or running, you are good.
Okay, thank you. And now sort of a nice easy question. So how quickly can or could you implement License Fortress for us, for a customer?
License Fortress is as I think I mentioned a little bit earlier, that three-step process is kind of a two-phase approach. So part one is doing that License Fortress inventory, where we get your Oracle license and then validate that against your how you deploy those Oracle workloads. For some of our customers who are using License Fortress and have a smaller environment, we can get that done as quickly as 2 weeks, and that's for people who have say anywhere from 10 to 50 Oracle workloads. For some of our larger customers, like that Global 100 healthcare company, they've got 4,000 to 5,000 Oracle workloads in there. That takes us a little bit longer, and we're looking at about 4 to 5 weeks to get that done. But you know, from the shortest to the longest, you're looking at somewhere between 2 weeks to 2 months to get that inventory done, and from there, then the Oracle License Fortress guarantee starts.
Hello, sorry I was on mute there. Yeah, we have another question in about data protection and that side. So the EU has strict data protection policies. Is any data moved outside of the EU?
No. So that's one of the things that we've had to deal with, not only with the EU data protection, but also with some of our customers who have very strict security requirements here in the US. Right now, License Fortress can be deployed in an entirely on-prem environment. So there would be no data that has to be moved outside of the EU, and we can host everything within a data center or in a EU acceptable cloud environment.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Dean. Well, that's all we've had at the moment. I'll just wait another few seconds as we've still got a little bit of time left. It doesn't look like there's anything more coming in, so do you want to move on to the last slide, Dean?
Sure.
Okay, well, just like to, at this stage, thank everyone for attending. If you do have any further questions that you think of after the event, or you just like some more information on it, please do get in touch. Obviously, the details are on the screen at the moment. And also, as I mentioned at the start, we will be sending out the slides and the recording shortly. So it just remains for me to say thank you very much.